everybody, it is going to be game number 3 of this series. It's going to be EmpireKas, the Terran on the bottom right, going up against mouzStrelok for the third time. He's in the bottom left. You'll notice that the map is Shakuras Plateau, and they're actually got the smiley face in between them, because they are on the bottom. And you'll see these shelter rocks are in place. Just with this new patch, Blizzard actually changed those rocks so that they are no longer in existence, which is really good because there were a lot of two-base, really crazy all-in plays that would use those to try and get a backdoor advantage into the opponent's base, and it's very, very hard to stop. Especially as Zerg, where they would end up having to uproot all of their spine crawlers and then run back into here and then try and get them in place before the push actually came in. And that would never happen because spine crawlers take 20 million years to really root, which is unfortunate for a Zerg. But still, I'm ignoring this entire chat. It's in weird language, probably German. Hakto tu Pohamski Sigral. No idea what that means, but it's fun to try and say. Neo Jidal? Neo Jidal. That sounds like a Warcraft 3 thing, but that's kind of irrelevant. It is me trying to just waste a lot of time, as TVT always starts off earlier on with the exact same build order for all of the players that play it. So you can see in Brush and Tab, it's the exact same thing, and it will be for the next couple minutes until you start trying to see if someone's going to fast expand, someone's going to Banshee Rush, or if someone's going to do something totally different like a Blue Flame Hellion drop. That would definitely be cool to see, as we've seen both players do the exact same build in the last 2 games, just they switched it who did which build. These guys are continuing to talk, and we got a refinery going down over there, but no refinery from Strelok. So we actually have a deviation immediately. Strelok is probably going to go for a 1 Rax fast expand, judging from the fact that there is nothing else on the field. Most likely going to throw it down soon. We'll see if he actually gets the orbital command or goes for the... Okay, does get the orbital command. Most likely going to get the command center next if he can, if not get supply depot, but really try and get that command center out ASAP. Maybe he's going to do that weird TLO fast expand where you actually use the supply drop to get the command center that much faster. Or if it just produced the command center right away. Looks like he's just going to produce the command center right away as he sends the SCV to the corner. There we have the Marine at the bottom of the ramp, going to go ahead and stop the scout. We do have EmpireKas doing the exact same thing. So no scout information is going to be able to be gotten from either player. And that's really unfortunate, as Strelok is not going to be able to see the fact that nothing crazy is going to go on, because it's TVT in the beginning. But still, this command center is almost done, and so it looks like Strelok is definitely going to be able to get a huge economic lead, assuming EmpireKas doesn't do some kind of damage with what could be a Banshee play, as he is going for the 1-1-1. He's getting this gas, could definitely try and get the 300 gas to get the Banshee and the cloak at the exact same time. He was able to do a lot of damage with that in the last game, so he definitely... It wouldn't be unwise for him to try and go for that again. Alright. It's not really a ton going on right now. You can see the watchtower is being controlled by Strelok, so he's definitely going to see if any attacks go down the middle, etc. We got EmpireKas having the supply depot at the rocks to try and see if Strelok's going to try and go for a 2-base all-in. Or maybe 1 base all-in from his point of view, because he doesn't know about the expansion quite yet. Here we have the factory going down from Strelok, so we're having a weird combination of teching as well as getting an expansion up, so it's definitely kind of a risky play. We'll see if it pays off, as EmpireKas is now starting his command center. The factory is not producing anything. He does have a little bit of a time period where he can start building the tech lab, and there it goes down. So tech lab, starport, expansion. So Kas is doing a very similar build to last game, where he's going for the cloaked Banshees. I'm judging by the fact that he has 200 gas and his starport's not even close to finishing yet. Most likely going to be able to really get out that cloak and Banshee out ASAP, as Strelok gets his expo up. Bunker is now in place. What about his strange tech pattern? You can see that he's really getting ready to get tanks out very quickly. It's going to get a tank out, just a starport producing as well as a reactor. So it seems like he's going to transition to a very fast tank Viking after getting this expo up. You can see how vulnerable he is, as he literally has 4 Marines, just enough to fill this bunker, and that is his entire army. He's definitely trying to play it not exactly safe, it's risky. He does have the bunker up in time, the starport is going to go down, and we do have a Raven going out from Kas, so it's not going to be a cloaked Banshee. Interesting play. I'm not sure what made him decide to not go with the Banshee, but do the Raven instead. Curious to see how it's going to play out to get that very fast Raven. It will allow him to get a lot of point defense drones and just block a lot of Viking hits, so he could just be trying to win a very early position war with Tank Viking, allowing for him to just shut down the siege tank line of Strelok that Strelok is producing right now, as he does have one tank on the field, but no siege mode yet. He's also supply block when trying to get this other tank out. He could cancel that tank to get the supply block, wait for the supply block to be finished, and get the siege mode out as soon as he can, since he's actually delaying a siege mode by allowing that siege tank to be queued up in that factory. You can see the income tabs definitely going to be in favor of Strelok by a large amount. He's got a lot more SCVs in the field, as well as the mules, the distribution of both of these mineral patches. So it's really going to help him. If he can just delay this game a little bit, he does have these Vikings, which will actually serve to really defend against any Banshee harassment. So EmpireKas could just be playing for the metagame, trying to know that he did so much damage with the Banshees that looks like Strelok would definitely try and do a Banshee-proof build, which he is doing right now, as those tanks, those Vikings are really at a good time to deal Banshees. And actually, he's going to take out the Viking for free. So Strelok actually gets a good lead in the Viking count incredibly early on, as Kas is just now getting the reactor onto his starport and getting up his expo. He's not even started mining from yet, as he does transfer SCVs. He will be able to send a couple guys to get the refineries, and he does get the third one immediately, and there's the fourth one going to go down too. So his economy is behind. He's done no damage, so Strelok is in a very good position right now. And Strelok's actually going for the backdoor rocks right now. That's interesting move, as Kas will be able to spot this in time, but if Strelok can siege up at the bottom of the ramp and not take out these rocks, he could theoretically start harassing the mineral line and taking out this refinery with the siege tank range. Also, these two supply depots would go down to Marines, and that would actually probably end up supply blocking Kas, who is going to be close. If he loses two supply depots, he will definitely be caught. But now here we go. Strelok is sieged up at the bottom. He's taking down these supply depots and just spazzing out with some Vikings that are just having seizures over here on the top of the rocks. But still, Kas is sieging up. Too far away, though, to actually hit any of these tanks. He's got to realize this. He must be just waiting for Strelok to move up, and then he's going to be able to do the siege tank splash, just take out everything he possibly can. Raven is out for Kas now. He will be able to do a lot of point defense drone. Where's the point defense drone? Oh, looks like Strelok could actually just snipe the Raven there, but the point defense drone does get thrown down. But it's not in a good position. He's not going. Kas is not going to utilize this to leapfrog his Vikings up in order to actually start preventing Strelok from being able to push forward, allowing his tanks to actually take out Strelok's tank. But it looks like he's going to do enough damage as he forces Strelok back. The tanks back here didn't do a ton, but they did just prevent Strelok from being able to move up the rocks. Kas's supply depot is now going to be rebuilt. He was supply blocked for a second, I think. I didn't really watch the supply count. But we do have more Vikings being produced. 3 barracks are out, and now we've got the two additional factories going down. So Kas looks like he's going to go into that massive siege tank with a couple Thors mixed in build with that weird transition that works out so well for him. This command center is being put down for Kas, which is going to be good, as he did lose a lot just now with doing no damage. So Strelok, his economy is looking good. If he can get up an expansion of his own, he can just continue having an economic lead. Though, interestingly enough, Kas is farther behind than I thought he would be. 92 food for him versus the 115 food of Strelok. So Strelok is definitely looking good. Okay, girlfriend's looking at me weirdly, but now the internet knows this. Go look away. Alright, so I'm being distracted, and Strelok is building Vikings. It's a good mix of stuff happening. Medevac is now for Strelok, so he could actually do some drops now if he wanted to. Just do a Marine drop in the back, try and take out a few SCVs, and then just retreat before Vikings can go in and take out that Medevac. EmpireKas' Marines are out. The point defense drone is still alive, as those are just alive forever. Okay, Scan going to go ahead and actually be perfect timing to watch Strelok move out with his units and makes Kas aware of the fact that he needs to pull back and get to a defensive position because he cannot engage his army in a straightforward fight. EmpireKas is coming back a little bit in terms of the food count, though, the 126 to the 140 of Strelok, so it's not as bad as it was before, though it is still bad. And Strelok, oh, he calls on a mule to repair the supply depot, but he's not repairing the supply depot, so that could actually burn down and lose him a good amount of scouting information, as well as supply block him even more than he's already. And there it is, it does go down. Strelok's mule ends up being worthless, but his third base is now about to get up there. Let's see if he uses Orbital Command or Planetary Fortress. Definitely expect an Orbital Command. You see that EmpireKas is actually getting into Planetary Fortress over here for his third base. Interesting move, and Strelok actually mispositioned his command center. It's kind of funny, and now the SCVs are preventing it from landing. That's just unfortunate for Strelok. Is it going to land yet? No! Oh, that's so bad that this just didn't land. So now these guys can be distance mining for a very long time, which is actually a fairly huge hit to Strelok's economy. And he's not realizing this. He needs to place that down, or he's just not going to have mining, essentially, from that third base. If Kas pushes in, here we go, big battle though. Stim going down from Kas's Marines. Strelok does have a very, very huge lead in terms of the Viking count. You could just land those on top of those siege tanks to deal with them, but Kas has taken out most of the siege tanks from Strelok. Strelok just has a few over here that were dropped. Medevac drop also down here. Taking out SCVs as well as refinery supply depots. He's not hitting the orbital command. He could snipe that if he wants to. But there's another stim going to actually target down that siege tank. He needs to pull back to the siege tanks of his own to take out those. Oh, he does. Good move from him. Strelok's now landed his Vikings, so he has a healthy ground army now that he's landed those Vikings. He's actually going to end up scouting with those Marines or just trying to snipe some more SUVs. It does work, but he's going to have to pull back as all these Vikings are really not enough to deal with what EmpireKas has. And EmpireKas is also getting another base up here. Interesting placement of building this, as he's just going to float off to get the good position to mine from, but he's just trying to keep it away from scans, I guess, or just medevacs or scouting by to see if that's in place. So good move by him. Strelok has finally landed his command center. He's building an orbital command, and he's got fairly good saturation. These guys, you can see the income is fairly similar though. You see the production resource tab that it's 153 food for Strelok versus the 116 of Kas. So Kas is really falling behind even farther than he was before. There's the positional advantages that Strelok's been able to get with this small lead in terms of army as well is just really adding up as Kas, his Marines are going to go ahead and go into medevac and try and do some economic damage as Strelok has had an economic lead this entire time. You can see spending tab is actually in favor of Kas. So Kas's faster third base has really paid off for him as he's been able to mine more than Strelok has been able to. Interesting little turn of events over there, and now EmpireKas is going to go ahead and be able to get a medevac to see this command center being built over here. You can see the queue of this medevac is, oh yeah, he wants this base to be able so he can take out those SUVs. He's expecting to be behind economically, not knowing that he's actually been able to mine more this entire game. Still, command center is almost done, and that SUV will definitely be killed by this drop from Kas. That, look at this, Strelok's army is actually out of position for that drop. Kas sieges up, and is going to go ahead and take out a lot of units before Strelok can do anything. Kas's positioning is a lot better, and the food count is now beginning to even out as well, as both these guys are at 158, 159. It's really, really good stuff by Kas to get economically into this game again. Strelok is going to go ahead and spaz again with the Vikings. That's really his advantage right now, is the fact that he has that extra vision with his Vikings, but in this case, the xel'naga tower is being controlled by Kas, so he's got the better vision, but his moving around with his tanks, he's going to go and go for a flanking attack right now. Strelok does have control of this watchtower, but if Kas can force those siege tanks of Strelok to unsiege, and Kas can move around, get a flank, and end up getting a full surround as well, then this smaller siege tank count for Strelok will count for nothing, as EmpireKas will be able to just stim, run in, and take everything out within half a second. Alright, Strelok did end up having to cancel this command center, being forced to rebuild it again in a better position, but here we go. Here we have EmpireKas just pushing in to this third base and going to prevent Strelok from doing much of anything, as Strelok's been forced to unsiege and go into the siege tank count. Oh god, EmpireKas' siege tanks are just placed perfectly to deal as much damage as possible, and Strelok is just getting his army evaporated. Strelok needs to use these Vikings to try and land on top of these tanks, get them to splash their own units, and the problem is that their 3 Marines are going to go ahead and actually do enough damage to prevent this Vikings from landing. Weird move by Strelok to allow himself to have these tanks just die from inferior numbers. Alright, well, this is unfortunate for him. EmpireKas is now taking out the third base, and really this is looking good for Kas. He's now got the full right side of the map, 4 bases, all of them still mining, even the main is still mining, versus Strelok, who has to deal with just the fact that he has 2 bases, and there's a drop back here too. So EmpireKas actually only made Strelok be on 1 base. All the production facilities from Strelok are being taken out. Tanks are just destroying everything, and Strelok actually has a tank that just popped out, just gonna say, oh, hey, you can kill me if you want, but looks like EmpireKas is happy to oblige and kill even more as Strelok calls GG. So EmpireKas doing a really good job. He was behind, and Strelok just ended up losing the game as EmpireKas was able to just macro up more, get up his 3rd base faster, get up his 4th base, get everything functioning, shut down Strelok's expansions, and really just take control of the game. So Strelok loses, and EmpireKas does move forward in this tournament, winning 2-1 in this best of 3 series. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it a lot. I'm going to go away now. Thank you.